Hi, my name is Wasif. I'm the pharmacist and owner of iCare Pharmacy, and welcome to the iCare podcast. So today we're doing just a podcast just on general mental health and wellness during COVID-19. So I'm here with my brother on Atif, and then my
Hello.
wife Dodo, who is off
Hello.
screen. And then we also have a special guest here. We have Komal. She is a provisional psychologist. So thank you so much for joining us today, Kamal, just to kind of talk about, just general mental health.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me to this.
Yeah, yeah. And honey, do you know how I know Kamal?
Nope.
She was in my dance group back in the day.
Cool.
Yeah. It was with I don't know if it, with Jen or Genevieve. I forget what was the whole dance thing called again? Do you remember the name of her studio?
I don't remember the name of her studio, so I'm not sure if she had it. Like it was just Jen's dance scene, and I feel like at some point our dance team did have a name, but it was so long ago I can't remember what it was.
I think it was just something like Jen's Dancers or something like that. It was something like that. Yeah. So today we just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about just mental health in general, just because especially with with the holidays that just passed in regards to like Christmas and New Year's, it was really, a time of year that we are generally spending more with family, but this time we haven't, it was a little bit different just because of COVID-19, that sort of thing. But before we start, I did want to ask just off the cuff here, just any New Year's resolutions people had, since we're just talking about just bettering ourselves. So, Atif, maybe to start with you, any New Year's resolutions for yourself?
I guess the main thing that I'm working on is just trying to get a job that pays significantly more than what I'm making now.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, honey?
I'm just taking it one day at a time and live in the moment.
Yeah, but that's not. You don't have a. You must have some type of. Okay, I'm gonna come back to you.
Come back to me because if you have a goal, I just don't think it's the time to announce that yet.
Oh, okay, I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then for myself, what should my goal be?
Lose weight.
Lose weight. I'm in shape if you consider round a shape, but I guess my goal should be to like eat more vegetables.
And less cookies.
Less cookies. Yeah. I have a very rotund diet. So yeah. How about yourself, Kamal? Do you have any any New Year's?
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of people in the same boat who's kind of reaching for cookies more, and I'm one of them. So, I got to reach for more veggies this year. And, kind of when the weather gets better, I really want to be more active. And I guess I'm kind of like your wife and taking it a day at a time. But, when we are hopefully maybe able to be back to socialize, just being really grateful and mindful of those interactions because of the lack of it for quite a while now. So,
yeah, for sure. So just in general, do you like in regards to just kind of dealing with this, it's been kind of a long time that we've had to really self-isolate and not have to be in touch with family and friends as much as we would like. Are there any general tips that you would kind of recommend?
I think it kind of depends on everyone's situation, but I guess some general types of tips. So if there's a person who is kind of struggling with that, if they're really social and likes to be around people, like we are social creatures. It's hard for us humans to not have interaction, right? And it kind of goes back to even ancestral roots of in evolutionary psychology, like caveman types of time. So it's like really within us to want those social interactions. So part of the things, if we have to be isolated now, it's, the biggest thing I would say for people is trying to like maybe change the perspective on, and you look at this as an opportunity. Like, I know it's been like a very long dragged out opportunity, but just time to slow down, time to really check in with yourself. Because lots of times we distract ourselves. Lots of people might end up distracting themselves with their friends, their family, work, but this is a time to actually slow down and focus on yourself a little bit and be like, what do I actually want? And who am I as a person? And this is a fantastic time to do that. Or, get into something maybe they've been putting off for a long time. Just learning to enjoy time with themselves. And if all of those things aren't really working, it's just knowing that this isn't going to be forever, right? We've had incidences in our world where things like this happen, but it doesn't happen forever. So it will come to an end if people are struggling with the isolation aspect.
Yeah, and just to kind of give an example of that, just some of my friends who have kids, they said it was kind of a mixed blessing for them in that they were able to spend more time with their family and just, have more opportunity to bond with their kids. So, I mean, so there are, as bad as it is, there are silver linings to be had for sure. What were you going to say, Altaf?
Yeah, so I agree that the social aspect is very important. And I would say if you still find yourself desiring that, you can find that social interaction to an extent, like online, as far as you could jump into Reddit. Like there's certain subreddits that might work for you. You can find a Reddit for anything, basically, or a subreddit for anything. So I would say go over there, answer people's questions or ask your own, and people will talk with you there. Personally, I like to go on Twitch, and I made a lot of friends there. So I would just suggest if you are still looking for interaction, then there are other ways to do it online.
For sure. Absolutely. And obviously, too, even with your own friends and family, this is the time to make some FaceTime arrangements, maybe with people you haven't talked to in a long time. This is your chance to do that. So I agree totally. We are blessed to have COVID in this time because we do have technology to help us still stay connected. So.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, I kind of touched this on the blog that we did on iCare Pharmacy, but it also, although it is an important outlet in regards to, it's great that we do have all these social connections via media. We do also have to be a little bit more cognizant about what we're consuming because we are a lot more online now. I think, I think my wife Dodo will kind of attest to that. Like you were on Facebook quite a bit for a while, and then you didn't find it too helpful for yourself.
Because the thing is, for me, I was mostly on Facebook for work and just doing other community, activism stuff. And for me, I found, and again, everyone's different. I speak from my own personal experience. Because I'm really active in the community. I'm always doing things. I'm always volunteering. And for me, it just got to the point where I felt so drained and so fatigued to the point where and a lot of my friends have said this too, they felt volunteer fatigue. They felt donate fatigue, right? There's only so much you can do with your time and money, to the point where, you become broke or just tired of always giving and helping. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has their limits, but it's just that I think I just got really tired. And I think, I just needed a mental break, because social media can be such a great force of good and, make the world better. But at the same time, it can also really be negative in so many ways. And there's always, the mob mentality. And I just felt like I needed to get away from that and just focus on other projects. And again, like I said, I speak for myself, but I do have a lot of friends who are in the same boat as me. They just felt like they needed to take a break. And for someone like myself and Wasif and you as well, Komal, that we work in the community and we work with people. So our job is very much about giving, and to be doing that 24/7, it just got I just needed a mental break. Yeah, that's how I sort of felt.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, no, I think those are some really great points. I mean, it is, sometimes there's something to be said about being overly accessible, right? And I think it kind of speaks to your point earlier, Komal, in regards to this is an opportunity for some introspection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also too, with that, I totally agreeing with everything she said there, because with that too, for me in the past year, I started getting a whole bunch of TikToks sent to me, and now I was like, what is this TikTok all about? And it's blew up this year, and that's a dangerous place for me, because I can get wrapped in there for hours and hours, and it's wow, this is not providing any value in my life, but it's helped me learn even for myself about, my boundaries of my times, to like put my phone away at certain times, if I'm on my work computer, stay within those boundaries. Like I work from home now. So it's, it's kind of hard to almost separate sometimes that work from home aspect, but it's about creating that environment and boundaries for yourself so you still have your sanity a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
And one of the things that I wanted to add to that too was content, right? So a lot of parents who unfortunately, they don't have the luxury of staying at home with their kids. They're essential frontline workers, and their kids are at home, oftentimes, not supervised. I'm talking about school age children, like 11 and up, or, just getting work done. The exposure to social media and other things on the internet are a lot more now than they've ever been before. And that's the thing that I'm concerned about, is like, I work in the schools myself, and I found that, that's what we've been seeing. A lot of the kids being, spending a lot more time on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and the content and the stuff that they're being exposed to is not exactly the best for them or safe for them, and it's no one's fault. It's just that that's what COVID did, right? Like it pushed us on the internet, and classrooms being online, learning online, really, you get distracted. You're like, I'm gonna check my Facebook or Instagram. And yeah, that's sort of kind of the downside of it too. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, and I'm not trying to be like, everything is negative, but that's sort of the reality of the world that we live in now,
Yeah, for sure. 100. Yeah, sure. No, that totally makes sense. Yeah, for sure. And then, yeah, and I was just were you going to add something, Atif? I thought you were going to say something for a second.
Yeah, I had a couple thoughts. I recall, Komal, I think you had said that like, people sometimes spend too much time with their devices. Like they need to just, like, I guess, back off at some points. And I also wanted to add that social media is bad depending on where you are in social media, as far as if you're not in the right groups. So like if you're in a toxic group, then you're going to be, that's essentially like a bad neighborhood for the internet. So
Yeah.
so yes, I would just say like it'll be good if you find like a, I guess, more of a supportive group. If you find that, then social media is good. But if you find one that is just a place for people to shit on each other, then that's a bad place to be on social media.
Yeah, for sure.
That is true.
Yeah, so like not exactly the same thing, but like a comparable is like with my wife. Sometimes you watch the news really late, right? And if she watches the news and she's watching like Middle Eastern politics, which is never happy, then ends up in a situation where she's going to have really bad dreams, and it kind of interrupts her sleep and that sort of thing.
I think, okay, that's, for me, it's just bad habit, because that's what I grew up, right? That's the environment that I grew up in. Middle Eastern politics is just, and watching the news has always been part of growing up, especially with my parents growing up in the war.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
It's just like bad habit that I'm really working on trying to.
Oh no, it's okay to do that. I just think like we all want to be able to a good part of our mental health is kind of try to set us up for like having a good sleep as well, right? So I think part of it is like you can do all that stuff, but probably might not be the best right before bed is all, right?
One of the things I wanted to share with you guys is to focus on the good things. So I had to run summer camp online, and spring and summer camp online. So I had my computer and with me, so we would do activities. And one of the things that we did was we sent out like activity kits to all the kids that we were working with.
Yeah.
So in our organization, everybody had their cluster, about 25, 30 kids, depending on the neighborhood, depending on the side of the city, southwest, north, and we were all divided up into clusters. And one of the things that came out that I thought was really awesome was that they all got their kits, and then we all did like cooking classes together online, gardening. So the kids got to plant their beans and they would make their pizza dough. And some of them would even tell us, okay, can we like make pizza this week? And I've never made pizza dough. That was the first time. And everybody's like stuff turned out really great. I would set up in the garden, and I would teach the kids how to garden, and they really enjoyed that. And we do obstacle courses, and the kids would do the same. Even some living in really tiny apartments, like, and I think that was the good thing, because it also allowed us to do a little bit more, like kind of like it taught the kids to maximize their space and their like imagination with what they were confined in. Like they were confined in tiny apartments with little activities, and they were able to just go crazy with their imagination and create really awesome things. So I think for me, that was like that I think is a healthy way of being online and, you know, kind of powering through this pandemic. Just always doing
for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point. Just because we're isolated doesn't mean we have to be at home all the time. We can still, you know, like I think we're in a situation where we do get a little bit antsy because we have been home so much, and just going out for even just a little bit of a walk or that sort of thing kind of helps just to kind of reset and just kind of, you know, just being outside, out of the house, I find it relaxes me. So that's just me, you know. Yeah. Yeah. And I was gonna just say, Atif, sometimes I just worry just because you're like in the basement and you have like very little light down there, and you know, it might help in terms of de-stressing if you go out for a little walk or you do some of your exercise outside.
I think there's something to that, but my concerns are more financial than just like, you know, just being outdoors. If being outdoors got me money, then I would do it for sure.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not saying all the time. I'm just saying, like, you know, like a 15-minute walk or something.
Get some new air in your
definitely. Sorry, what was she saying? Doreen?
Oh no, I'm just saying like 15 minutes, like 20 minutes in the backyard. I was gonna make a joke. Don't worry, come March, April, I'm gonna get April, I would say I'm gonna get him to help me carry some bags of dirt once the planting season starts. So
looking forward to it. That's exactly what I look forward to in March, is carrying bags of dirt. But yeah, I totally agree that like going outside for a walk can be relaxing. I don't disagree with that.
Like my brother Atif, we actually got him to come join us from the States about, like, what was it, like 6 months ago or so?
And like at the end of August.
Yeah. So, you know, he crossed the border, and then we had him self-isolate and, you know, followed all the protocols. And then the Canadian border actually called him, and then they said, hey, we want to make sure that you're getting fresh air and sunlight, and you're not just completely stuck in the basement. So I thought that was kind of nice of them to actually call and check up on you.
Yeah, it was nice. For sure.
They actually called and checked up to see if you were like getting fresh air.
Well, they wanted to make sure that we were giving food in a way that we were, you know, okay, in terms of like we weren't having like a lot of contact with them, and then also that that he was getting fresh air and sunlight.
Awesome. Yeah, I knew they were calling to check up on him. I didn't know that they were like making sure. Oh yeah, make sure you get your fresh air. There's windows in the basement.
Yeah, I think they even asked him if like he's getting enough exercise and stuff. So
right,
I appreciated them asking that. That was nice.
That's so nice.
My mommy, the Canadian government.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I work in a college setting, and that's kind of what was requested from the government for us for the international students is, and we have been doing that, is, you know, checking in, making sure, because it is really easy. Also, like one of the dangers of kind of being on social media and emphasizing a little bit of what is said here is that you can end up, you know, in your basement and there for days and days and days and not even realize the days are passing by and how unhealthy, and even your movement, you might not even be moving very much. And you know, it's nice, it's good to get fresh air, it's good to get some sunlight on your skin. So yeah, we're doing that too with international students, making sure that they're fine and okay, and if they're suffering from isolation, to kind of help them in that way as well. So that is a real thing, that they are checking in on people. So
that's good. No, that's good. That's awesome. And then before, you know, thanks so much for joining us today, Komal. Before we wrap up, if people are comfortable with sharing it, I want to, you know, just a little bit of homework. What is, say, Atif, I'll put you on the spot to
As
start.
usual, yeah.
Yeah. What is some ways or something you can do, you think, to kind of boost your mental health in the near future here? Is there anything you have in mind that you'd like to do to help yourself?
Boost my mental health.
Yeah. Is there
Um,
anything you could do to, we focus so much on the physical because it's so it's so obvious to kind of focus on the physical, but in terms of mental health, is there something that you think you could do to?
I can tell you something that I did in the past.
Okay.
This is back in high school and community college to help me relax. I would meditate in a very specific way, and I'm not saying anyone else has to do it my way. It's just the way that I did it. But what I did was I would take a very small object like a penny or something, just put it on the ground, make a triangle with my hands, and just put my hands over that, and just put all my focus in that. Because I'm putting all my focus in that, I'm not thinking of anything else. Helps me
Yeah.
clear my mind, and so that helps me become more relaxed and worry about less.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's something that, like, Netflix just released a whole thing on meditation, and
Yeah,
I went through the first episode and I was just like, oh my God, this is so relaxing. I need to do this more often, and
yeah,
just because our minds are racing all the time, so to be able to kind of take a break from that is key. I think for myself, I do want to, like, I've been exercising, but I think I could. I think I do need to focus a little bit more on exercising because I think it'll help a little bit more with my sleep as well. And when I get a decent amount of sleep, I'm not like a, you know, grumpy cat first thing in the morning. So I think it kind of puts a nice, nice way to just kind of start my day if I am, well rested. Hey honey, what about you? Do you have any, we're just talking about what you can do to kind of, any goals in terms of boosting your mental health or anything
I
like
just
that?
think people, like, one of the things I found again, is that, like, because we spend so much time online, and we really need that human connection. So of course we're going to spend more time online. Is that some of us who are empaths and compassionate, we tend to take on the weight of the world. And during that time, I was doing that a lot. Like, oh my God, we got to fix this. But honestly, take care of yourself. Your number one priority. And I start going back to what Kamala was saying.
Yeah,
Kamal said, boundaries. Boundaries are so important. Like, it's only you and you alone. And you got to take care of yourself first before you can take care of other people. And it's okay to say no. And I had a huge reality check with one of my students who told me that. She was like in grade 2, and she's like, Miss Darlene, it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do it. It's overdoing something. And that's my nature. I don't know how to say no. I'm terrible at saying no to people, and it gets me into a lot of trouble. But this grade 2, she was like, Darlene, it's okay. Miss Darlene, you're very nice. And it's okay to say no.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And she's like, don't worry, it's fine. It's going to be okay. And she was saying this to me, and all the other kids started saying that. It was like the most important thing ever. And it's like, I had an 8-year-old told me that. Like,
Yeah.
so cute.
Oh, that's super cute. Love it. Yeah. And then what about you, Kamal? Anything do you have any goals in regards to your mental health or anything you could do better, you think?
Yeah, I think one thing that I think all of us could maybe use a little bit more is a little self-compassion that, we are in a hard time. So, hey, if we miss going on the treadmill, hey, if we grab that cookie, or hey, we didn't, create a cure for cancer in this time. It's okay, right? It's okay. We don't have to beat ourselves up for not changing and saving the world or doing everything we said, but, loving ourselves and saying it's okay that we didn't get there and we're going through something that none of us have ever gone through before. So we don't even know the true effects of how this will be for all of us once we hopefully get out of it. There is hope, but being self-compassion in this time and loving yourself and forgiving yourself for things that aren't really probably even in your control. So yeah, self-compassion.
Oh, that's awesome. I think that's great advice. And I think, that's a great way to finish the podcast there. So thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah.
We really appreciated your advice and your insight there. It was awesome. It was a great learning experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye.